Good evening, Rusky enjoyers. Hope you're doing alright, because it's time to yap about some interesting tidbits in regards to the Island Assault collection. So currently right now I'm with my chat. Hey chat, how you doing? It's Monday. We're always taking a look at all the new skin submissions. I'm actually in game right now, just already showcased some things. But yeah, only 70 at the moment. But if I could just scroll all the way down, we've got a nice looking jacket right there in front of us. That just so happens to be the Island Assault jacket. Now I've already made a short video showcasing this. It kind of occurred to me that I should probably talk about the progress with this collection so far, and then maybe some point, maybe around January time, we'll see how it progresses. Because ever since this has come out, a lot of people have been behind it, a lot of people really liked it, a lot of people are crossing their fingers and hoping to see a full collection, and lo and behold, we've essentially seen that. But is it going to hold up? Are we going to see anything like it come out potentially within the next few months that could potentially affect its price? Or is it going to be unique? Is it going to be our only grey out collection for the foreseeable future? So let's just give you some context. As you'll see over here, we've got a full collection. We've got tier 3, boots and gloves, hoodie and pants, and tier 2, along with a backpack very recently. Now, when this initially came out, we had tier 3, and it kind of came out at a very odd time, because it was during that period of time, chat, we were hoping for tier 3. We were hoping, still waiting for it. But instead, we saw like Boneforged 1 week, and then we saw this random Island Assault tier 3 appear. And I took one look at it, and I thought, you know what? This looks like some sort of henchman, like a henchman sort of design. They've got all their equipment. They're probably protecting a mad scientist or something on an offshore platform. But overall, people did like it. They liked the design. They thought it stood out quite nicely. And most importantly, a very interesting detail, it is matte grey. It doesn't reflect light. I've seen many reflective metallic sights in the past. But this was a first to me. This is the first instance where I actually saw, oh wow, that's a grey set, but it doesn't really reflect. Think like Blackout, for example. Oh, okay, so that's why it got the nickname Grey Out. So, yes, as time went on, we saw the tier 3, then the gloves, then the boots, then the hoodie and pants, and then, of course, the tier 2. And, of course, most recently, we got the backpack. But the tier 3 prices, oh my. So let's now look over to here and more specifically look at all the skins here. The chest plate was the skin that was the highest price. So if I could just quickly go to the next page, you'll see for yourself how that's currently holding up. Because initially, this is going up in price before we even saw a collection continuation. Now I do apologise that this it's invisible at the moment, but I can assure you this is the chest plate. Right now it's on the Steam market at $17, but that wasn't its highest price. So scroll, you'll see around the period of time where we saw the hoodie and pants and the tier 2 being accepted, it went up in price. But even before we even saw the boots and gloves being accepted, this already was going up in price. So I recall I looked on the subreddit, lots of people showing their support. They were really eager for more and more skins, and of course, as you can see here, that's exactly what happened. But when we saw the gloves, when we saw the boots, these were pushing up very nicely. So back over to here, looking at the chest plate, you can see it bounces up. It went from about, this went up. So let me just get the timing right. We saw the gloves at the end of June. Cool. So let's go to the end of June. So the end of June is around here. It bumps up a bit. So before we even got a collection continuation, this was actually sitting at around $6, and the face mask was just a little bit less in terms of price. But then, of course, goes up in price to about $7, $8, calms down a bit. Then we see the boots. Then it kind of like settles for a bit. Then, around July 30, let's go back over to here. You'll see for yourself, we ended up seeing the Island Assault team, hoodie and pants. And then the very next week, we got the tier 2. So that had a wonderful time. That just went whoop, but then, after the tier 2 was gone, we got the backpack, but the backpack just, it didn't, look what happened. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it just goes, like a big crater appears. And then since then, it's been trending down. Perhaps there was a lot of hype. Perhaps there was even FOMO, fear of missing out and whatnot. But it's still in a very good spot. But clearly, its peak price of around just over $30 at one point. Is that the end? Is it gone now? Are we ever going to reach back up to there again? Who knows? But right now, the overall collection is unique. There is nothing else like it. As I said, the only grey design that doesn't really reflect. Now, some people have brought up like Target collection, but that's only got like tier 2. This is a full-fledged collection. So feel free to comment below. Have you used it? Are you pleased with its design? Do you appreciate it and whatnot? But yeah, if I could just go over to here, look at the workshop, show you over to here, the whole collection. So that's everything that's been accepted. And let me tell you, the success rate for this has been madness. It's been ridiculous. Everything's been accepted. And yet, right now, there's the jacket. What do you reckon? Will we see that in an upcoming Rust store? We'll wait and see. So yeah, the success rate, phenomenal. But the skin creator, Uncle, he only ever intended to do a clothing and armor set with a backpack, with a jacket. He said that months ago, and now here we are looking at the the full set. He is aware that a lot of people really like the collection. He is aware that it was selling ridiculously. And, well, of course he's turned around and said, you know what, maybe I'll go make some more. But he doesn't know exactly what people want. And this is where you can help out. So, on the main Under the Salt collection page on the workshop, if you go up to the discussions right here, you can see a pinned discussion. I'll click that. And this is actually made by Uncle himself. He's considered that he wants to hear everyone's opinion and he wants to find out what would you like to be seen made next. So chat, I'm going to go copy this right now. I'm going to go send it over to you and you can start taking part. Now, I know some of you already have, but yeah, this has had 55 comments. And in short, you could just put down 5 things you'd like to see made. You can, you can offer a story as to why. Just a quick explanation or just post whatever you want. But you get the idea. He's literally asking everyone, what's he doing? It's invisible. He's asking you, what would you like to be made next? Now, jacket's already been done. Gloves, does he mean leather gloves? Poncho, bandana? I get the impression Cruci wants to see a primitive set. He probably could have just said primitive. Anyway, I've seen mentions of AK, weapons, deplorables. Yep, just, go through all this in your own time if you so wish. Loads of people have offered what they want. And evidently, Uncle has turned around and said, you know what? I reckon I'll probably reappear maybe at the end of the year. I quite literally told him, make sure you have something really nice out and ready for the January Force Wipe, because January Force Wipe is when a lot of people will be turning up. The January Force Wipe is going to be the 1st of January. The day, well, literally New Year's Day. Let's see if Face Punch will commit to that, or maybe they'll put it next week after that, just to spare everybody. At least the Americans. I don't think they'll be getting up in time. So anyway, cool. There's some nice potential progress with that. There's some nice, interesting things to look forward to in the future. I'm sure quite a lot of people would be very, very, very interested with a nice, cool-looking Under the Salt AK-47. Add a nice little red aim sight, maybe a bit of transparency. Yeah, well, we'll see what we can get away with. But that's up to the skin creator, so keep an eye out. But you might have to wait a while. He did intend to do some other things in the meantime. So, alright, cool. Let him be creative. Let him stay positive. Let him be motivated. Now I have to talk about the skins again. Now, in regards to this, I'll link that in the description so you can go see that for yourself. So let's just go put you away. Go on, hide over there. Now, back over to here. So, a minute ago, I basically showcased how the chest plate, which was one of the most expensive skins, and still is, but it dipped a bit, didn't it? All the other skins have suffered that dip. And now, I need to talk about the tier 2, more specifically the Kilt. Now, if I could just quickly navigate over to here, let me remind you of the sales, the subscriber counts for all these skins. Tier 3 came out, both those pieces did just under 20,000 subscribers. Then the Roadside gloves came out. That did just over 18,000 subscribers. Boots, just over 20,000 subscribers. The hoodie and pants, okay, I'm going to remind all of you about this. Those hoodie and pants looked like they were going to be in big trouble, but they got saved simply due to the fact that the tier 2 came out literally the very next Rust store. But yes, hoodie and pants did 28,000 and 27,000 subscribers. Quite a lot of these compared to these. Yep, and even them. And then, of course, tier 2 comes out, and tier 2 does even more sales. Almost 35,000 subscribers for both that and this, the vest and the coffee can. But the kilt goes all the way up to almost 37,000 subscribers. And what did Hedge do? Well, of course, he went and invested into it. But I knew there was a risk. But I was very much under the impression that what we see here probably was going to be unique for the foreseeable future. And I remembered the Reptile Hunter collection. So let's just, remove this Reptile Hunter. And what? 2 years ago, summer of 2023, we saw this collection come out. And you might notice, oh, hang on a minute. Tier 3, hoodie and pants, tier 2. Huh, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, didn't get boots and gloves though. And, oh, don't get me started. I was really yearning for that. But anyway, tier 3 comes out, does about 17,000 subscribers. Hoodie and pants come out, does about 18,000 subscribers. Tier 2 comes out, almost double. 36,000 subscribers for the kilt and just about 34,000 for these two pieces. For quite a long time, this was not having a fun time. So if we could just go on the Steam market, get a good look at this, and you'll see that whilst right now it sells for $6, and right now it's actually trending upwards, obviously it peaked up because of the hype with the jungle, but go back further and look and see how badly it suffered. You could have picked this kilt up for as cheap as about 50 cents at one point, maybe around early 2024. But because the whole collection still had demand, because people actively liked it, wanted it, we don't have that many green clothing and armor pieces, for a reasonable price, do we? No. So, yeah, that just eventually rose, peaked up very nicely because we had the jungle hype. Cooled off since then, but it has been rising since then as well. I can't help but assume we'll probably see something very similar with the Island Assault. So, just to remind you, how many Island Assault Roadsign kilts did I buy? Here you go. Now, I've actually picked some more on another account with buy orders, but I bought 200 straight from the Rust store. I did my buy orders, I looked at the skins, I could see there's a lot of support to keep the price up, but evidently, as we go back over to here, as we look at it, it started to slip below its Rust store price, and it's currently got 1,103 listings. Now, with great thanks to the Steam Inventory Helper extension on Chrome, I can actually see that there's quite a lot more of a story here, and 650 of them are actually listed above $2.60. But it's still not looking perfect. But I knew it was going to be a risk. I couldn't help but assume we'd probably have another Reptile Hunter kilt type of situation. So the buy orders, as you can see, plenty of them, all above $1. Hopefully it sticks around. I am very much hoping that when we go through post-Christmas, this will rebound and all of it will go back up in price again. Now, how high will it go? You know what? So as long as it's better than what it is currently, I ain't complaining. But I doubt we'll see the tier 3 reach the peak prices that it did this post-Christmas. So that means January 2026. But eventually, as time goes on, if there's no other collection like this, no other matte grey design looking like that, I can't help but assume if it rises up, slowly, gradually, is embraced, appreciated, and yeah, then you will see the tier 2 actually work out nicely. Doesn't matter. So as long as there's demand, it can have plenty of them, and plenty of them available, but they'll still be bought. They'll still go up. Sorry for being a bit rambly, but yes, things can still work out quite nicely, and we are anticipating another collection continuation, the jacket. So feel free to comment below if you've invested into any of this. I would still recommend looking at this in October time. First week of October, early October, look at the skins. If you are considering investing into them, that should be the best time. We'll see if the prices do manage to hold up for long enough, but after October, hopefully we'll see the naval update. And, I've done some showcasings of me wearing this full set in some monuments, like tunnels, in caves. It does do a very good job of, being some pretty good urban camouflage, just hide against some walls, stay in like the shade, and people won't even spot you. You could very likely still pull it off with blackout, but point still remains. Yeah, and blackout isn't exactly cheap either, is it? So I'm just saying. Right, anyway. So if you're looking at this and you're making considerations, I would still recommend waiting until October, as I said, but keep an eye on that, all right? Could it end up exactly like the Reptile Hunter kilt? Will it just crash and burn? You can, you can dispute. You can sit there and say, Hedge, I don't trust this. I don't feel like it's going to hold up. You have your own opinion. You're more than welcome to offer it. But it's not just that. It's like all the other skins. So as I reminded you, the hoodie and pants did sell quite a lot more compared to the tier 3, and even that's had a bit of a slip. So where did this peak up at? As you'll see, because it got the tier 2 accepted literally very next week, the hoodie and pants actually almost reached about $5. It might have, but it didn't last for very long. It's still doing a lot of sales. 175 of this today. Clearly there is demand. You know what? Let's go back over to the kilt. How much of these have sold today? So we'll see that 475 of them have sold today. Now you might dispute, well, is it people buying them from the listings, or is it people being dumped on? I don't believe it's, you know, dumping. If anything, I can see it slightly going up a bit. So hopefully it does continue to, you know, rise up. But you should still, you know, expect September, October, the autumn fall seasonal dip. But after that, we'll see what goes on. And then, of course, there's the pants, and pants are very similar to the hoodie. So yeah, definitely climbed up very nicely initially, but now it's kind of stagnant. So we'll see what happens next. We'll see what happens next. So yeah, that all worked out nicely, but that's straight up green camouflage. There was always going to be interest there. When it comes to Island Assault, yes, I'll agree, it is different. But more things are expected to potentially appear at some point later down the line. And at the least, maybe the next restore, the week after that, the jacket, we'll see how that goes. Now, you know what? Why don't I go in game, put it all on, and you can tell me if it looks nice. My eyes are broken. I'm sure that's affected other people. But yep, give that a good look. I'm wearing tier 2 with the brand new jacket. Get a good look at that. I feel like that blends in nicely. Got all the right stitching and whatnot. We even have the insignia over to here. So yep, give that a good look. Maybe I'll pull back a bit. So yep. Do you reckon that fits nicely? Are you a fan? So have you bought yourself a full set? Do you like running around in it? Do you prefer other collections? Again, opinions, you're more than welcome to offer them. But I don't think we've ever had a grey jacket. I honestly don't think we've ever had one. Now, you might dispute and say, what about that snow jacket that's like white and grey? Well, maybe. But we've had a lot of black jackets, but no grey. No grey like this. So maybe this also will have interest because of that. At the end of the day, it's up to Face Punch if it gets accepted or not. So, alright, cool. Hard suit, reflective. Sorry, mate. Right. So, much like with all the other skins, not too reflective. Yes, it might shine a fair bit, of course, when the light's right on it. But it's not exactly reflecting tons. And just to point this out, yeah, it doesn't glow or anything, right? So, yeah, we'll see what becomes of this. But as I already mentioned, in certain monuments and whatnot, it does blend in with the background, does blend in with the interiors of the walls and all that. Maybe, just maybe, this could also be utilized, also utilized outside. Now, I saw, a few people saying, oh, I could easily run around in the snowy tundras, the snow biome, and hide. No, this is not snow camouflage. At best, you could probably hide against some rocks and whatnot, but it's debatable how effective that is. So, you know what? Why don't we go ahead and do just that? Let's go see if I can camouflage outside. And there you go. So, if you see anybody sitting there and saying, oh, Island Assault, it's great camouflage in the snow. Yeah, no. Maybe from a distance, if you stand next to those rocks, yeah, sure, maybe, but no, not standing in the snow. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to spot you. Well, I mean, ta-da! Look at how camouflaged I am. By the way, with the recent update, have you noticed how dark it is now? It's so much harder to see everything, isn't it? So anyway, yeah, I don't think that's snow camo. As Mr. Pavlikatura in my chat said just a little bit earlier, you could probably pair that up with some whiteout skins, maybe the snow jacket, because at the end of the day, we don't actually have any cheap, affordable options for white skins, white camouflage. So, okay, I mean, I'll give it a shot, but you're probably still going to notice it. But yeah, sure. Anyway, at the very least, should I go stand next to those rocks, the cliffs, and maybe I might be able to camouflage or something? Now, of course, there is a good question of how often are people going to be running up like mountains? How often are people going to be running around in this sort of environment? I've got to say, though, it does look pretty. I think that whole addition of the mist, fog, it do be looking pretty cool. But we're here to talk about jacket. And, of course, the whole collection. So, yeah, anyway, I'm pretty sure you might have spotted them if you took your time. But maybe if you could have worn any sort of darker clothing, you probably would have done a good job hiding in the shadows there. Point is, it's effective when you're standing next to this. How often are people going to be running around here? It does do a good job in the monuments, but outside, fairly debatable. At night time, yeah, sure. You're essentially wearing a dark clothing. You might be fairly well hidden as well, but everything's super hidden at night time because you cannot see. So yeah, I can move this around as well. There's the sun. There you go. And now I pull back. Maybe the mist might give it a good bit of help, but overall, among any rocks, you do kill. You do kind of still stand out. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how it progresses. I'm sure people still like the style, the fit, and of course with more skins in the way, it should likely still hold out. Hopefully rise up in price. But yeah, when I said I was going to buy into these, I definitely acknowledged and pointed out it is going to be a risk, but sometimes you just have to wait a while to see people actually appreciate these things. All right then, so we'll actually go ahead and test out what Pavlikatura said. Put it on with some white clothing and armor as well. Okay. I'm on top of the world! So yes, I mentioned it earlier. Snow camo jacket. It's about $2. You can mix and match if you so wish. Like if you want to get some even cheaper pants, you could just go grab snow camo pants. Give that all a good look. Do you reckon the fit works? Island Assault with this jacket. Go for the comment below. And yeah. But yeah, if you're looking for like total snow camo, I mean, you're just going to have to spend money. Go grab some Thunder Gold, maybe some comics, or maybe fork out a mortgage and go get Whiteout. Whiteout is actually the cheapest camouflage compared to Desert Raiders and Forest Raiders, if you didn't know. So, alright, fair enough. But yeah, the focus was showcasing Island Assault collection. We've shown it off with the brand new jacket. We've shown it off with this jacket. But let me reiterate my point. We don't actually have that many like grey jackets. Let me show you right now. So here's all the jacket skins. Let's just go through the years. We've got this many so far in 2025. I scroll down. Last year we got quite a lot of jackets. Here's a grey design. Here's a grey design. But they're metallic. They're shiny. They reflect. Not exactly what we're looking for. Some people might say, look, if you're specifically trying to get like some nice white camo, you could use this Twitch drop. Let me remind you, no more skin box or similar designs, similar like applications. You can't have that anymore. You have to actually have the Twitch drop now. Do you? Because unfortunately, I'm fully well aware a lot of people don't have all the Twitch drops. Okay, yeah, we'll take that into consideration. Now, there is another grey jacket right there, Urban Ice, $20. And I'll quickly put that on. We'll give that a good look. You can tell me how it looks. But here we are, snow camo. It's one of the skins you get for free randomly every few months. It's about $2. Did you appreciate it? Feel free to comment below. But yeah, why don't we go give this a good try? And maybe we'll do a quick comparison with our brand new Island Assault jacket, and you can tell me which one you prefer. Because again, that's $20. Okay, with all due respect, that actually does blend in quite nicely. Yeah, I feel like that fits in quite nicely with that. Yeah, no, I've got no complaints. So yeah, this skin was accepted 8 years ago. So don't be surprised to see it's $20 at the moment. But yep, give that a good look. Nice and grounded design. Might need a bit of a wash. So yeah, you could grab that instead if you want to. You could wear that in an urban environment. I'm pretty sure a lot of people think that looks pretty cool. And of course, let's quickly switch over to the Island Assault jacket. And there you go. So yeah, what will be the future for this collection? How will it, how will it behave? How high could it end up? Or how low will it go? We shall see. Also, if you've noticed some weird visual issues with the sky, that's out of my control. That's definitely been mentioned, but look at that. So yeah, anyway, focusing this. Will Island Assault collection progress ever so nicely as time goes on? All we can do is keep an eye on it. So maybe early January time, I will return to the collection. We'll see how it's progressed. Did it stay down? Or did it get a nice boost? Will we see more skins being made? Will that cause the boost? That's something that, for us to discuss in the future. But for now, I'll sit here and say thank you very much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got a good visual. and we'll see if this ends up being a nice cause for a spike in demand and spike in price.